Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. It's Thursday, September the 19th. Sean Higgs coming at you, and it's a Thursday. Doug Upstone, Chirimbes, as always, on our Thursday video here. College football on tap, but before I get to that, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell here on the YouTube channel, and visit our sponsor, gamblersWORLD.net, for all of our premium content. The free picks are great. We're at 6-2 in our football the last 2 weeks here. Things are heating up. Yesterday we gave out a couple free plays, so no recap on yesterday's free plays. You have to go watch the video, all right? I'm not going to give it away. Go watch it and get the views up, all right, for number one. Me, Chip, and Brian Biller making his Winner Circle debut. And you can find Brian, Chip, Doug, myself, all at gamblersworld.net, plus 10 other top handicappers there. You see the leaderboard, win or lose, always the truth. It's rated right there. Games are posted. No hiding from the record. We're doing good. We're doing bad. We're doing so-so. Leave a comment. We're here. We're real people, folks. And speaking of real, we'll be really live tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, with Mark Lawrence and Victor King. King Creole himself. I didn't realize that was an Elvis reference. Found that out on the live show. I thought it was just because he's like a Cajun cat, but apparently it's an Elvis movie.
You missed a generation.
I did. Gentlemen, good to see everybody. Happy we're all together again, like a happy Monday. We got NFL tonight. We'll tap into that and see how your week's going on. We'll start with Chip Chirimbes. How's things going after last night? Because I know you were here yesterday. And any thoughts on the Jets and the Patriots? I don't do the video for Thursday. I figure it's better just to talk about a day of short week kind of nonsense. But what's up, Chip? How are you?
Well, thank you, Sean. Last night I hit my 7th straight Major League Baseball megabuck release.
This guy.
The Brewers ends up taking Philadelphia 2-1. So, and I love today's game in Major League Baseball even more so. Of course, we have an NFL release between the Patriots tonight and the Jets. And having been in New York for a couple of days, I feel like I have some kind of insight to what's going on with that game. And believe it or not, Sean, I see a game Saturday that is so strong that I have to deem it my college September game of the year. How about that? And usually I come up with a few of these in each conferences, but this game is something you can step out on. It's so powerful. I had to announce it to you now, and that's going to be on Saturday.
There you go. But, and you can find Chip.
Looking for Chip. We got football. We're going all over the place out for Saturday's games. We have 3 games here, and the NFL is just chiming along. So you can tell everyone to get the inside information from us. Just follow the buy links.
Gamblersworld.net for Chip's top plays and his regular plays as well. But the man's been on fire lately. He should just get rid of the Sonny Liston. Get rid of Sonny Liston and Rocky Marciano. Just put giant flames behind you like a ZZ Top car or something. It's a knockout. There you go. It's a knockout. Doug, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you.
Not quite in Chip's league, okay, in terms of what's been going on of late, but hit a nice parlay last night in Major League Baseball, so that was good. Cardinals and Mets, so that was an easy winner there. A winning week overall, so they got some action there. I do have a play tonight, but it's not going to be on the NFL gridiron. It's going to be on the college. And that's my Thursday throwdown, and it's in a 100% situation. No, not 110, 100%, okay? Because you can't do better than 100%, no matter what anybody tells you. So I have that going. I also have an ACC game on Friday, and I don't have my September game of the month, but I have a 10-unit play that I really like on Saturday. So we got some good action going there. And let's see. Also, I just want to throw out there for those of you that haven't stopped over at gamblersworld.com, because all these videos that we do end up there besides at YouTube. Also, I have a line moves article that I've been doing basically 4 times a week. The first ones come out on Tuesday and Wednesday. College football and the NFL gives you the biggest line moves. And then on Friday, I give you the updates of all those games, add anything that's new, and give you free picks on all of them. So you get 10 or more free picks reading those 2 articles. So take advantage of it.
You know, I apologize. I forgot to mention that on Monday because I mentioned it last week about your line mover articles. I have to remember to mention that on Mondays. And I think you have to remember, too, because you didn't mention it either.
Well, there was nothing up yet.
Yeah, but to come to look at for as the week goes on, be like, if they're going to come out.
Upcoming days. No question about it, yes.
So
sure. Try and blame me for your mistake. There we go. That's how we do it.
South Alabama, Appalachian State winner up from Doug Upstone today. He said ACC tomorrow. So that's a big ACC. And you think ACC powerhouse, Stanford Cardinals. So that was probably going to Stanford, the big ACC team. They may be going back to the Pac-12, and they're facing Syracuse tomorrow. It's also Illinois, Nebraska, and San Jose State, Washington State. A plethora of college football on the agenda to start the weekend here with tonight's game and 3 tomorrow. I got to say, my baseball – not as good as Chips. I didn't hit a parlay like Doug. I had the lowly Seattle Mariners who, hey, watch out for flying bats. Let me just stroll into the coach's box and get thrown out by the catcher. That's
amazing.
That sums up the entire Seattle Mariners season. And forget about the hitting, but that just kind of play you're thinking like, oh, all right, let me get out of the way. And you're just not even realize what's going on in a whole game situation. They end up losing extra innings. Terrible.
And if we had Cole pitching, he could have put someone else back on the bases. So who knows what's going on in Major League Baseball nowadays? You
hate that walk endeavors with nobody on.
And I would have cut him. Award winner, sayonara.
Head on over to gamblersworld.net. Chip stop plays, all the Doug plays. I got some NFL tonight in this matchup. You want to go get that game? It's up there at gamblersworld.net. And always remember, 3, 7, 30-day packages guaranteed. We show a profit over those course of those days, or we credit you back, and you can come back on board with the same cap or somebody else. Also, we have our NFL premium packages up right now, $7.99. Get the whole season. Make the smart money move. This breaks down a lot cheaper than doing each game individually or weekends. Like, hey, we're going to grab a Thursday, then a Saturday, then a Sunday, Monday night. You'd use your little coupon at Starbucks if you're going there to get some latte nonsense or wherever you're going to get your fast food, right? Why wouldn't you break it down cost effective? I don't know. People are strange when we're strangers, right? You guys have a Doors reference for those out there. I think these gentlemen remember the Doors. Let's talk about revolving doors. Well, I don't even know how I'm going to swing that into a conversation about college football, but let's go to Doug here because I'm interested in this USC Michigan game. Michigan was way back over the summer favored in this game. They come out now as a 5.5-point underdog at home. Total of 44.5 against the Trojans. Things are going so well for Michigan that they switch quarterbacks. For USC, I don't know. Like, I had them against LSU the first week because I'm like, Lincoln Riley, quarterback guru, always had some kind of Heisman kind of cat. This guy's throwing like 2 touchdowns, though, Mitchell Moss. What do you got going for us in this game? 5.5-point doggies for the defending champs. Are you kidding me?
Well, actually, I think the line's right, to tell you the truth.
Really? Okay.
Just as where we are today in this one, I think you could, honestly, though, I think you could make a case for either team to cover the spread. I'd say roughly 2 points either way. Not completely confident in that scenario. As I say that, you look at the offense from Michigan. Alex Orji takes over. Okay. He's all set to go. Okay. In 2+ seasons in college football, he is 4 for 7 passing for 20 yards. Okay. Nice. So this offense is just going to be on fire. Okay. Coming into this game. USC's defense is night and day different from last year to this year, having hired defensive coordinator Anthony Lynn. To me, I'm having a hard time figuring a way that Michigan is going to score 16 points. Okay, in this one, I just don't see it. Lincoln Riley's USC offense, explosive at times, but when you think about what Texas did against Michigan's defense, they scored 31 points, but the reason they scored 31 was 3 Michigan turnovers. So that kind of bumped that up. The Trojans, not historically, but recently have been an over outfit, especially since Lincoln Riley's been there with a brutal defense, but that's not the case right now. Michigan comes in 13-4 run, just a 13-4 under run overall, and in the first month of the season, the last several years, 9-1 under. I'm going to lean with the men of Troy to cover, okay? But I think the score is going to be somewhere for them, somewhere between 23 to 27, and I don't think Michigan gets over 16. So I'm going to go under the total of 44.5 or 44 or 44.5.
Yeah, if I see 44.5 out there, so we'll get to 44.5. Doug Upstone, official video pick under the 44.5. Chip, thoughts on Trojans and Wolverines?
You know, the interesting thing to me here is here are two conference teams playing each other that haven't met in Michigan since 1958. Michigan did win that one 20-19. I don't even remember that game. It was so long ago. But Michigan has been so unimpressive this year, particularly on offense. And if you watch them against Texas, it never looked like they had a chance in that game. Doug, you said they gave up 3 turnovers and 31 points. I think this game stays under as well. I really don't see Michigan putting up a lot of points. And you said, like Doug had mentioned, USC's defense is hot and cold, and I think Michigan's going to dictate the play to be a low-scoring game. So I would play this under as well.
I'm good. I'm going to make a trifecta. I do like the under here as well. I mean, you're bringing a new quarterback. Even with the guy they replaced him, it was going to be a new quarterback, a new running back. They're not going to look to come in here and start chucking it and changing their entire mentality. That's not who they are. So 3:30 Saturday Eastern. We're like in the under, all three of us, but officially it's official. We all like the under. So what's there to even say about that? Under 44.5. Now we're going to a little Saturday night action with Mr. Chip Chirimbes. Tennessee and Oklahoma. Look at this move here. This line was 4 before they played on Saturday. And even Tennessee was a dog if you look at the line in August. A full touchdown of 57.5. I mean, 69 points versus Chattanooga. Sooners at home. What a monster SEC battle. I was looking, I'm like, why can't I find this game? I forgot that Oklahoma was in the Big 12. I'm like, why can't I find this in the Big 12 schedule? Yeah, they're an SEC team now, everybody. I got not a lot to say. I have enough to say this, but this is your game. Chip, Tennessee -3, Sooners 57.5. Your total, go for it, and then I'm going to chime in after.
You know, the way these two teams have played, Oklahoma has been unimpressive at times, and they did squeak by Tulane with the cover. But Tennessee, what a monster! 71, 51, and 69 points. They've outscored their last 3 opponents this year, 191-13. But they're only 3-13 in their last road openers against the number. They do have 3 straight wins coming into this game. Oklahoma, they're always a question mark. Isn't every year we're looking for them to do something good, looking for them to break out, and somehow their defenses, it seems to make lapses. And I think this game is destined to go over the total. Oklahoma scored 101 points in 3 games. They're 12-4 as home dogs, but this number is telling you that Tennessee is very strong. I mean, they're ranked in the top 3 or 4, and Oklahoma, it's just, I'm wondering if they had the same kind of firepower that the Volunteers have. And I think the game goes over the total. This is a juggernaut offense for Tennessee.
Over 57.5 for Chip Chirimbes here. Tennessee, Oklahoma, 7:30 kickoff Saturday night. Doug, thoughts on this?
Yeah, to me, this is a very difficult game. Okay. I mean, I've gone back and forth and back and forth. Among the things that you think about is that Oklahoma gets 4 for being at home. That means on a neutral field, Tennessee would be an 11-point favorite over Oklahoma. Okay, it just doesn't sound right. Okay, from that standpoint. Now, there are those people that are complaining about Tennessee, saying they haven't played anybody. They're just pounding bad teams and stuff like that. Now, NC State was supposed to be better than what they actually are, but they certainly weren't good. They got pulverized, and I just wonder if this was Alabama or Georgia beating the teams the way that Tennessee has, wouldn't everybody just be praising them as opposed to, say, complaining about them? Okay. Thing I wonder, Oklahoma's passing offense. Right now, it's 103rd in the country. Okay. And they haven't played a lot of really good teams here. So can you beat or even can you cover the spread against Tennessee if you don't have at least, for example, 225 to 250 passing yards? Doesn't seem like it anyways. But on the other hand, the Oklahoma defense has generated 10 turnovers. So that's where their points have been coming from, by turning the ball over. So if they can get 3 turnovers, I think they can hang in this game. To be perfectly honest, I'm glad Sean didn't give me this game because I would have no idea what to pick, and I could just flip a coin and just go with it that way. But you know what? I'm going to give Oklahoma the benefit of the doubt. Boomer Sooner at home. Okay, I'll take the points reluctantly either way and just say maybe Oklahoma is the right way to go.
So the Oklahoma 51-3 over Temple, which is a terrible squad. 16-12 versus Houston. 34-19 Tulane. Again, not looking very good offensively. I'm not a Venables guy. I thought he was going to do a good job there. And for a defensive coach, you think you get a little more out of it. I mean, coming to the Big 12, you're thinking like, wow, all right, maybe he'll bring a little defense and some toughness to the team. They still were old Oklahoma trying to chuck it and do everything. But I'm with you on this one. I kind of like the points here. A 7, I mean, 71 versus Kent State, 51 NC State, 69 Chattanooga. Am I really sold on that? And then I got a redshirt freshman making his first road start, laying the touchdown. Listen, over. I could probably see an over, right? Because the Sooners. I don't know. I don't know what they are. I don't know what kind of team they are. If Tennessee just puts up half of those points, they're going to get over this total, right? I mean, they don't need 50 here. 34, this could easily go over because Oklahoma will probably score. They're down and going to start throwing the ball. I don't know. Game. It is a tough game. Look, thank God Chip's here today to save us all. Over to 59.5, 57.5 for Chip here. And also, these are just the free pick videos, folks. We do them 5 days a week. There are the live show on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We do the little Monday Night Live, but 4 days a week, you see us, Chips with Paul and Jim Fights for 2 other videos. So we got plenty of free pick videos. The premium stuff, though, is where we make most of the money at gamblersworld.net. Go get it, 3, 7, 38 packages, all guaranteed to show a profit, or we credit you back. So I like to think that I have a nice quote-unquote easy winner on deck for us here. Cal Bears, another ACC juggernaut team. Huge history of taking care of conference foes. Florida State, a 2.5-point favorite. Total a 44.5. Are you kidding me with Florida State? 0-3. You started your top 10 team. Oh, we're going to go to the playoffs. We're playing. Look at us. We got a big chip on our shoulder. We're going to show you guys you made a mistake by not putting us in last year. You came out of a bye week last week. Are you kidding me? In that, I mean, I think I had Memphis here last week at one of the shows. What a disgraceful, terrible. I think is he going to get fired after this year?
If they don't win a game, he will.
I mean, you brought in a quarterback, and we said this since day one. We're talking about taking Georgia. I told you in like June, we're taking Georgia Tech over these guys. 3 teams in 3 years, 1 TD, 2 interceptions in 3 games. That's what we're doing. Yep. That's what I mean. Out of a bye week and 2 bad losses, and you lose outright to Memphis. Listen, it's the 2.5 looks way too easy to be. You know, where you have to take Cal, right? It's like 2.5. Like this is a joke, right? Cal's coming 3,000 miles to Florida State, whose season is up in flames. They've already blew their win total. Cal has 9 interceptions on the year. They picked off Auburn 4 times, and you can say whatever you want about Auburn. Is Florida State better than Auburn right now? I don't know how far apart they are. 4 picks there, 2 versus San Diego State, again a decent kind of mid-major squad, and 3 versus Cal Davis, which is whatever. But still, I mean, you're forcing turnovers and you're giving up 10, 13 points a game. I'm going to have to go under this total. I'm going to play it safe and go under. I love to think Cal wins this one because I see 2.5. I'm like, you got to take Cal, right? Because Florida State's the bigger name. They still have the aura of we're supposed to be good, and we have DJU. I don't know, man. Cal's coach is pretty tough. You're sitting at 3-0. You got to be feeling pretty good coming to Florida State, a team that's could easily at a spot where it goes off the rails, right? They are 0-3. Players might start opting out and leaving, right? Because this is like what's happening in this program. They come out flat here in the first half. I don't know. I want to take Cal, but I'm just going to play it safe, go under, because we've seen no offense, not much of an offense from Florida State. The defense is so-so. I don't think Cal's going to come here and run it up to like a 30 spot or something like that. So I think 44.5 is a solid play. And I also like Cal. I might pull the trigger on Cal myself, but under 44.5 for me. We're going to start up with Doug and his thoughts on the Seminoles.
Yeah, to me, Norvell deserves criticism for what he's done. But, sometimes coaches run into certain situations that even they didn't see. And what happens is with teams like this is there is a complete lack of senior leadership on this team. That's the problem. is that the guys that they had last year, their quarterback last year, a number of offensive linemen and defensive starters, those guys were the leaders of the team. Nobody has stepped up in that role for this team. And this was what could happen. And I mean, I've seen it. One team I could think of was a Wisconsin team from years ago that was in a similar situation. That's the first one that comes to mind. They ended up, they were supposed to be a top 10, top 15 team, and they end up going 7-5. And so, they're not tough, in the trenches at all. Okay. It's just a team just lacking an identity. DJ offers them nothing. He really, since his few games in the 1 year, his freshman year with Clemson, okay, not much. Okay. Sort of okay with Oregon State last year, but that team was set up completely differently this one. But Cal actually makes sense right now. I mean, they're a tough physical team under Justin Wilcox, their coach, that didn't really fit in the Pac-12. I mean, now in the ACC, it kind of makes more sense because playing that style of ball. You mentioned, all their 9 interceptions. They're also number 9 in the country in pass defense efficiency ratings. The Noles are horrible right now. Golden Bears come in 9-1 against the spread the first month of the season under Wilcox. The first month. Florida State comes in 0-5 against the number after a game in which they've committed 3 or more turnovers. I'm going to lean here with Cal in this one. And also, I looked this up right before the show. We'll see what the closing line is here. But teams that are favorites by 3 or less so far this season are 3-5 against the spread. Not a big number, not great, but it's of note.
Chip, any thoughts?
Yes, I have quite a few thoughts about this.
I mean, all right. I was gonna say. I know you have thoughts, but we're gonna stick with the Seminole talk first before you get into.
No, well, that's what I'm talking about. They got a guy quarterbacking. I call him DJ Ugly because this guy has been terrible for 5 years, coming out of high school, one of the top 5-star recruits, and he's never come through. Norville called their offense challenging, and when you're averaging 52 yards a game on the ground, it's more than challenging. Golden Bears 3-0 for the first time in a long time, but against conference opponents that are winless, they've gone 0-3 the last 3 times they played them against the number. But this Florida State team, like I said, of 134 colleges that are eligible for the Final 12, they're 133rd rushing. I mean, I can't get much lower than that. I mean, they have Alex Atkins returns. He's their offensive coordinator. He was suspended for portal violations. And this Florida State team, the only good thing I could say, the only thing they may have going for them guys is that the Cal Bear kicker is 2 and sure to take Florida State. I want Florida State in this one, and my last shot with DJ Ugly. And who took a last shot on this day? Denny McLean. Denny McLean on September 19th, 1968, won his 31st game. And I don't know if you guys can remember this, maybe you, Doug, but he was pitching against the Yankees, and he had thrown a pitch to Mantle, and this is the end of Mantle's career, and Mantle stepped out of the box and shook his head, boy, I'd like to see that one again. And McLean says, okay, and he laid in there, and Mantle hit his 535th and final career home run as McLean just laid it in for him. And that was in 1968. There were a few other things I can get there out here in 47. Jackie Robinson was Rookie of the Year, and in 1995, there was something really unique happen. Ken Caminetti, who later admitted to using steroids, hit home runs from both sides of the plate for the 3rd time in 4 games. And that is such a unique thing to have happen. And he did it within 4 games. He did it 3 different times. And this was in 1995, his last time out there. And Greg Maddux pitches 5,000th inning in 2008. You won't see that again. Otherwise, I'm taking Florida State.
I was just to see how we're going to work in the Chipper this day in sports history today. That's why I saved you for a second.
If you want to go back, Lefty Grove won his 31st game on this date in 1931, but I know you guys can't remember that far back.
What year did Caminetti win MVP? Was that 95 or 98?
I think that would have to be the year, wouldn't it? And
it?
Who was it came in second? He said, well, he admitted he was using steroids. Shouldn't I be the MVP? And the runner-up, I think. I'm trying to remember who it was. And at my age, I'm lucky I remember my name.
Awards. MVP in 96.
Okay.
Was that Caminiti? Because it was 95 when he did this feat.
Yeah, 96 MVP. He was the 96 MVP. So there.
Well, he wasn't a bad ball player at all.
Oh, no. Good fielder. Good all-around player.
Yeah, no, he's
Way,
solid.
Hall of Famer Duke Snider would be 98 today if he was still around.
I'm trying to see if I have the runners up, but it doesn't have it. I gotta see if it's listed here. No, they don't have the runner up listed.
And why would you? Right?
Was it somebody? I don't know. I remember
there was a little
controversy about it.
I always thought that the guys that didn't get it, there's the guys that admitted to steroids. It's the guys that didn't admit it were some of the biggest frauds, like Brady Anderson, Luis Gonzalez. They still love him here, but
well, listen, the whole.
I know Ortiz got away with murder.
He's in the thing, and yet he's hailed as a great guy. We could say Jeff Bagwell wasn't a roid guy.
I think it was Bagwell might have been the guy.
Bagwell? Come on. No, whatever. Here's the thing. If you're telling me that only hitters used it, no way. They were going against pitchers who were probably on stuff as well.
Yeah, but I don't think it relates, correlates.
Muscle mass for pitching is it doesn't necessarily. It can make you maybe throw harder, but it doesn't. Well, let's put it this way: you can get injured, doing stuff like that. Pitchers, you can get injured. Like with how these guys are.
I think it was obvious that it helped the hitters more. Brady Anderson, 52 home runs. The guy had 17 high previously. Bonds had 39 as a career high until he hit 73. And everyone's power numbers increased. They were quicker with the hands at the bat, and you made contact.
Bonds was a 3-time MVP before.
Bonds was a great player. There's no question.
And he said he said he did it because he was so pissed off these other guys right here.
I understand that.
A fool.
Well, if someone else is making more money than you are, do you rob a bank?
I don't.
I don't know if that's a good comparison to it.
If he's cheating, in other words,
But these guys, other guys were cheating, which is why he did it.
Maybe they were robbing banks.
Well, speaking of robbing banks, what do you think about the Tennessee coming out and going to charge additional money to
player tax,
quote, give to the nil for the nil?
Listen, I think it's a good way to put an extra $10 on a ticket, but doesn't Ticketmaster already kind of rob you on that as well?
Well, don't forget you're also paying for the licensing fee to use that seat. Okay, that's has been.
And listen, I don't hate putting a couple extra bucks in. If you're going to recruit, what are you going to do? If you're going to spend it, right? It's all about spending the money. Are they spending it? Like I'm not wired into Tennessee alum to see how they're spending their allotment of no money, but I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm not either. I just think that once again the fans are being asked to foot the bill, okay, on something, and I also don't like the fact that they send the video out with Danny White. Remember Danny White, the Dallas quarterback? Yeah. He's the
he's a punter. He's the punter.
And also, what athletic director makes the most money in college sports? Oh, it's Danny White. Okay, so if Danny White really wants to help, how about taking just 2.5 a year, take that $500,000 and help his team. Okay,
I never understood as a Cowboy fan, because I like the Cowboys in the early days. They were a good team. I thought every time they went back to punt, it should have been a fake punt with him back there. Like the guy was a decent quarterback. Like everything should have been like he's going to punt. No, I'm going to throw the ball. Like it should have been a fake punt every single game. They would have been way ahead of the curve of going forward on 4th down in your own territory.
Yeah.
Did you have a video game that you could have done that with at the time using Danny White?
In 1986, probably not. I probably didn't get. When did I get Nintendo? I don't know. Maybe in like in 8th grade, 9th grade. It was probably late 80s, 88.
Okay. Yeah. So I just thought of that because I could see that would be something I could see you doing actually.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, any kid who played any kind of like Sega football or the old Maddens back in the 90s, you never punted. Like you'd fight with your friends, be like, oh come on, you got to play fair, and like you can't be 4th and like 32 from your 9-yard line and go for it. No, you had to play fair and like punt it. Like, but nobody ever punted. You just want the punt. That's terrible.
Right.
It's terrible.
Today's world. So, anyways.
All right. Speaking of punting, we've punted the last 5 minutes getting into steroids, ticket prices, and Danny White being a punter quarterback, something for the ages that you'll never see in today's football. Let's do a recap of our picks today, our free picks here. Chip Chirimbes likes the over 57.5 Tennessee and Oklahoma. Doug Upstone is coming in on the under USC Michigan 44.5. I like the under Cal Florida State 44.5. 3 totals for you here, a couple unders. These are the free picks. gamblersworld.net for all the premium content from Doug, Chip, and myself, and any other capper you want to go get. That could be Paul Bovey or Jim Feist, who will be with Chip later on today. It could be Mark Lawrence or Victor King tomorrow, who I'm live with at 1 p.m. Eastern with our Football Friday show. Plenty to choose from. Is it a hodgepodge? Is it a pot of stew? I don't know. It's a potpourri of winning picks from you at gamblersworld.net. So go get them. For Chip, Doug, and myself, gamblersworld.net, we will be back with these two gentlemen on Money Monday next week for some more. Actually, it'll be a baseball Monday. Monday is going to be a baseball day probably. Sorry, folks. It's Monday. It's early. We'll talk about the doubleheader on Monday night and our live show on Monday night, but we'll have some baseball, recap the weekend. Hope everybody has a good one. Doug, Chip, good luck to you this weekend.
Thank
you. I will see you guys next week. And everybody, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.